Next, we're going to talk about pre-emerge herbicides for conventional corn. Now, you may just say, well, wait a second, if I can use it on conventional, I can really use it on any kind of corn I got. Yeah, you can. You can use it on Roundup Ready corn or Liberty Link corn or stacked corn. Sure, no problem. But with conventional corn, there is one thing that you can't do, and that's do a rescue grass treatment with Roundup. So we've got to change up a little bit what we're doing with our pre's.
Back 20, 25 years ago, before we saw all the BTs come in and Roundup corn, Liberty corn, all those things, we had corn and we didn't have to call it conventional corn, we just called it corn. So that's when I was a young agronomist, and all I can tell you is this. Back in those days, because that's in effect what we're going back to if you're going to raise conventional corn. Anyway, back in those days, what I would always talk to farmers about is grass control, grass control, grass control. You got to remember that corn is a grass, so it is very difficult, it's challenging to get that grass out of the grass crop. There aren't a lot of products that are very selective. Really, the only chemical family we use that's what I would consider excellent on grass pre-emerge is the group 15s. And the reason why you want to use a great pre-emerge herbicide is because post-emerge, all we really have is accent. And you can tell me all day long, oh, I'll use an HPPD like Impact or Loudus or something like that. Well, look, sure, if the grass is a ½ inch tall and it's scattered through the field, yeah, we can probably kill some of that. But if you have a bunch of grass, you're going to get your yield hurt real bad, number one. And number two, are you even going to get all that grass under control? So you've got to start with a great pre. It's going to be a group 15 that we would always recommend. That includes Outlook, Surpass, Harness, Zidua, and Dual.
Here's the caution though, Brian, with the group 15s. We're kind of used to using half rates or really low rates, because where do we use these products? Well, we use them post-emerge in soybeans. We use them at cut rates along with a broadleaf killer in front of Roundup Ready corn. Now we're talking about using full rates. So it's something where you need to look at what's the full labeled rate for your soil type and your geography. That's where I would recommend starting with these group 15s. Now you may say, oh, I don't know if I want to go 2.5 pints or whatever the full rate is of the product you're choosing. Try it out on your farm. And if you say, well, I only want to use 2 pints, no, try the 2.5. And if you do think you want to experiment with lower rates, that's fine, but do it on very small acres. Because like Brian mentioned, if you run into grass escapes, it's going to kill you on yield.
Now, one of the things that we always had, being from the western corn belt where we farm, is you'd end up with a dry spring from time to time, and we'd run into farmers that would say, look, I want to plant my corn, then I'm going to go spray my group 15. You can certainly do that, but the problem is you not only have to get rain to get the product into the soil, you have to get rain and enough of it to get it into the soil and into the weed before that weed comes out of the ground. Sure, all of these products have a tiny amount of rescue. In other words, they have a little bit of reach back if the grass gets up a ½ inch or something like that. With a big rain, you can probably get enough herbicide in to take that down. I've seen it before, even on our own farm. But I'm not counting on that. So here's what I'm saying. If you want to make sure that the product works, I would suggest light incorporation. Just very light. A lot of times I'll tell guys use a field cultivator at 8 miles an hour or something so you can't bury it, and then you'll have pretty good control. Remember that all these group 15s are shoot inhibitors. You don't want them down where the roots are at. You want them up where the shoot is at. That's usually within the top ½ inch of soil.
The other strategy that gets used quite often is just to spray them a little bit earlier in the spring. That way you have more time to catch some moisture on them and incorporate them into the soil. We see a lot of the no-till guys doing that because, frankly, it does not work to wait until after you plant and then go out and spray, because too often we don't get a rain and then the grasses start coming and you're just too late.
All right, let's say that in your Roundup corn, you've been using something like Sure Start or Triple Flex. Maybe you've been using Verdict. It's one of these herbicides that it's got quite a bit of broadleaf activity, but it's a cut rate of that group 15. You can still use those in conventional corn, but if you do, spike in more of the group 15 to get yourself up to the full labeled rate of the group 15. Because what I'm trying to tell you is, like in Verdict, it's got Sharpen in there. Well, Sharpen has no grass control, and it's just got a cut rate. This Verdict just has a cut rate of Outlook. Same thing in Sure Start and Triple Flex. You don't see the broadleaf killers giving you a lot of grass control, and you got a cut rate of a group 15. Make sure you're bumping that Group 15 up so you've got the absolute full rate. That's going to give you the best control on grass. That's our #1 concern for you if you're in conventional corn.
The other thing is if you're using one of these products with an HPPD in it pre-emerge, you're taking away a great mode of action post-emerge because you can only use those HPPDs once. And if you increase the rate of those pre-emerge HPPD combo products that also have a Group 15, if you just say, well, I'm just going to raise the rate on my HPPD pre, now you're going to have such a high rate of the HPPD that you're very likely to have some carryover issues for next year.
Yep, well, once again, what we're concerned about in conventional corn is grass because your only real rescue option post-emerge is accent. That's expensive and not that great either in terms of weed control. So use a full rate of a Group 15 if you're raising conventional corn this year.
The other thing I'm concerned about, Brian, is weed identification of these grasses. We've got one such grass that you'll have to identify to solve our Weed of the Week issue today. We'll show you how to stop this weed coming up next.